In this video, I will show more clips of Chris Oniya describing himself. This will be my last video on Mr. Oniya. There are other areas of the digital prison to cover. The first set of clips comes from a podcast that promotes NFTs, or non-fungible tokens. That particular interview is from January 2022. The host promotes his Stone Santa NFTs while interviewing Mr. Oniya and his partner. It's funny how both China and Russia are represented in this interview. Mr. Oniya, who is representing China, and Julia, who is Russian. So here's the first series of clips.
Please welcome first Chris Louis Oniya. He's the Life of Musk NFT visionary and founder, and yes, China Partnership Consultant. So Chris, it's great to have you on.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me as well. Happy New Year's. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. First of all, let me explain what is Life of Musk NFT. It is a venture dedicated to developing a collection of NFTs that celebrates the work and achievements of Elon Musk. It operates on the Ethereum blockchain and it's displayed in Decentraland, with a part of proceeds being donated to various charities supported by Musk Project. Looks awesome. And the second guest of our today's show is Julia. She's simply Julia. Julia, hi. I prefer to start with the personal history in the blockchain space because this is very important. Tell us, please, how did you get into the crypto space, and how did you have your first exposure with NFTs?
Hey, that's a good question. I first got into the crypto space around 2017. I used to live in Beijing, China. So in Beijing, China, I had a Bitcoin factory. So I was mining Bitcoin. I was making Bitcoin. And, that was the first time I've actually got involved with it. It was a very amazing experience. And from there, I just held on to it from 2017 to 2021 up until now. And, it did extremely well. And then I asked myself, what's next? What's going to be the next best thing? So last year, I took some courses at Harvard, Columbia, and Rice University. And a lot of them were cryptocurrency courses, just the evolution of cryptocurrency and where the future trends is going to be. And inside the courses, the professors was talking about crypto, but the classmates were talking about NFTs. And so the classmates were telling me about how NFT is going to be the next big thing. It's going to boom. They said they think it's going to happen in 2021. And so that's when me and a couple classmates started discussing it, and I started looking into this venture to see, how I can possibly collaborate or get some exposure.
Because I know Chris from Beijing. We were studying together in Beijing. I was studying in another university. So we met each other, and Chris was always.
So Chris, please explain us, how did you come up with the Life of Musk NFT collection?
That's a very good question, Eugene. So Elon Musk, I've been a very big fan of him for almost nearly a decade. I feel like we have a lot of common characteristics and traits. He's somebody I really admire. And I follow him and I follow what he does. And also I love investing. I love looking for projects to invest in. And later we decided we wanted to go in the metaverse, and we wanted to actually display our artwork also in the metaverse, in the Decentraland. So we bought a plot of land, and then we built a digital museum called Life of Musk NFT. With that was going well. And then we said, you know what? Elon Musk loves charity. We also want to do charity work. How can we get to charity? How can we get back to the community? So we said, you know what? 5% of all proceeds we will donate to charity. I think that right now the blockchain is it's like internet 3.0. So whatever you're doing is going to test the time of history. It's going to be in the history books. It's going to be stored on a blockchain ledger. I think that's something that is very inspirational to people, because now you're not just leaving this world with physical with leaving behind this world with physical items. You now will be in a digital space. For utility, when you purchase these NFTs, you will be allowed to display them inside our digital museum. So we have a digital museum in the metaverse. So your NFTs will be displayed. So if you ever going out with a friend, or you ever want to, network, you can take them to the digital museum in the metaverse and you can display them. I think that's a good thing for utility. And so that's when we say, you know what? If we're somebody that is walking in Elon Musk's footsteps, and we're somebody that wants to be a project like Elon Musk, or represent him, then we have to follow in his footsteps and do charity as well. So we looked up all the charitable organizations that Elon Musk supports. There are about over 10.
We are just, because we are dedicated to Elon Musk, so we are kind of like do what he does. Yeah, so we want to make profit, of course, but we want to make our community also benefit from what we do. So it's kind of like win-win situation, right? Like,
well, Julia, I need to ask you, you're from Russia. I don't know how charity works in Russia. I'm a Russian too, but I really don't know. Let's discuss between ourselves. Is charity works in Russia well, like in the US?
But I guess if we are comparing US and Russia, oh, wow. I think I'm not much into charities, so I can't say like 100%, but I think we are also like, we are developing, not as much as the US, but I think we are on the right track as well.
NFT collection creators in Russia, Russian-speaking realm, please add the charity element into your NFT.
Another thing that I think that would be really good is the metaverse. I think in the future, we're going to all be in the metaverse, just, socializing, getting to know each other, and showing off your NFT in the metaverse. Having a place for you to display your NFT is going to be a trend. So that's why I kind of created this museum, because in the future, if people want to display their artwork, they can display in our museum. Like right now, the only place you can display an NFT is in OpenSea. But OpenSea, you can't walk around with your friend or say, hey, look at this, look at that. So it's still, the migration has to go to the metaverse in order for this thing to really take off.
Now, in one of those clips, he mentioned he was mining Bitcoin in China. Now, I thought China had banned Bitcoin, but maybe that was later in the timeline. Or maybe we were told a bunch of crap about China banning Bitcoin. Another thing that crosses my mind about Mr. Oniya is that by embracing Chinese culture, he has never developed a relationship with Jesus, meaning he is perfect for helping implement the next phase of the beast system. He wouldn't even recognize it as such. It would just be another step towards progress. Although, to be fair, there are many Christian types that love their smart devices and digital money, just like so many Christians were deceived about the injections. The next series of clips comes from an online conference in Decentraland. This conference was held in November 2022. It's more of him talking about the direction he wants to go in. My concern here is that Texas is going along with the global agenda. Mr. Oniya is just one piece in that puzzle. Here are the next series of clips.
This is my bio. My name is Chris Oniya. I'm the Houston ambassador for Texas Blockchain Council. And Texas Blockchain Council is the #1 largest nonprofit blockchain organization in the world. It's based in Texas. I'm the person in charge of Houston, the 4th largest city in America. So it's a very, very important city for us. The president is Lee Bratcher. So that's one of the things about myself. I'm also a Decentraland reporter with Kevin on Earth. I had the amazing opportunity by Kevin to be interviewed by Kevin and Decentraland reporters, and to give me these opportunities. So that's what I do. I've been a Decentraland parcel owner since 2020. I lived in China for 15 years. I think a lot of you guys know I did my bachelor's, my MBA, and currently pursuing my doctorate degree in China. I'll be graduating next semester. Everything here. I took some online courses at Harvard and Rice and Columbia, and this was the reason why I was able to get into the metaverse. Just by speaking with classmates online, we figured out that they figured out NFTs was the next biggest thing. But the more I dug into NFTs, I found out that the metaverse was going to be the next biggest thing. So that's kind of how I got involved in the metaverse. And Venice Music, I think a lot of you guys may know who they are. The founder and the CEO of Venice Music is Troy Carter. He's a very, very famous person all around the world. He has managed Lady Gaga. He kind of, met Lady Gaga before she even started, like when she got dropped from Def Jam. So that was, he's very big, famous because of her, Eve, John Legend, many more people. He's partners with Will Smith. They're the big people in, in Web 2 and Web 3. They're also our partners as well. That's what we did the big concert July 30th. We posted on all platforms, and we have some other things in works. I can't talk about it right now, but some other things that we're working on right now for next year, which is going to be pretty big as far as how we're going to bring these big name quality artists into Decentraland. We have an English program that we, because of my background in China, and because I've lived there 15 years, I gravitate a lot more to Chinese people because of the culture is kind of similar now, and we started to do English program Inverse. It's called English into the Metaverse, and we onboard Chinese, and also the Brazilian community has reached out to us as well, and they're very interested in this as well. So we have some things we're doing right now where it's going to be separate from MetaTrackers. We're going to grow it now because we have a lot of support for this initiative. So we're kind of behind the scenes building this. I think within the next month or so, you will start to hear more about Inverse and what we're doing. But it's something that we have as far as an incubation project. So the next thing, so for us, MetaTrackers, where are we going? The future of us is going to be education. We just got 9 parcels donated to us, 9 parcels donated. We haven't announced it yet. You guys hear it first. It's from an NFT holder, of course. We're going in education. We're building an academy, a MetaTrackers Academy. Yesterday, we started working on how to, stream it and stuff. We're still in the beginning stages, you guys might know him. He's the founder of Decentral Miami. It's a big event in Miami. You might know him as well. Yukai Chow, he's the godfather of gamification. He's a very famous people around the world. So basically, cut a long story short, there's some people in Texas, very well-known family in Texas. They have very big relationships. They have something called crypto art and food. I was able to speak to them and let them know I want them to know more about the metaverse. I want the metaverse people to get to know them. So yesterday we streamed the event at the MetaTrackers Clubhouse, and we had a DJ, Mr. Big Mouth, from one of the DJ competitions. And then last but not least is Yukai Chow. He's one of our biggest supporters in our education project. He has, I think, over 1 billion in, I think, streams or in his framework. It's called Octalis. Octalis' framework is huge around the world. Companies like Tesla, Forbes, Yahoo, Google, big companies use his work. He's also an NFT holder. He's also a supporter for us. Lee Bratcher, the president of Texas Blockchain Council, again, is I think maybe the top 10th person in Texas, and he's also our NFT holder as well, and a big supporter of what we got going on. He, is big with Pepsi. And that's pretty much it. I don't want to go too much in detail. I can speak a lot.
I'm not going to comment on those segments. Just let them speak for themselves. Thanks for watching the video.